Work you do right now might be under serious threat.
Yes, obviously also looking at the technological changes and what is going on in even different parts of the world, you will find that there are some countries where unions are struggling because of there are no workers, because of they have been replaced by the technology, but unions must survive. And that's why in other countries, it's now deliberate that the government finance the unions, so that the unions are continue doing their job by the way of maybe levying taxes on some of the goods that are produced in the industries, because workers produce these goods in the industries, and therefore they come into agreement with the unions that maybe you lose 0.05% of this good produced in this particular sector that goes to the union in that sector, so that the union in that sector can continue doing its job. Maybe in Kenya in future, maybe we'll start having such kind of conversation that how do we finance unions? Because again, like the way we finance political parties, if we are able to finance political parties, why not the unions? Because the unions are also working for the people. Because we are seeing the shrinking numbers because of the technology also, and also because of economic challenges that different sectors are facing. And therefore, even if you were to recruit members in that particular sector, there are no people to recruit because there are no numbers there because of different reasons. So union financing becomes a difficult, another discussion that even we as a union, we started talking about it, that in future, how do we finance unions so that the unions continue being strong and continue doing the job that they are doing? Otherwise, we'll find ourselves in problems the way other unions have found themselves in problems in other parts of the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you look at the dailies today, and especially the Standard, which has done some tremendous coverage on the Labor Day celebrations, there's a lot of criticism, especially directed towards KOTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli, on the way he deals with government and successive administrations, not just this one. That many people feel that workers' welfare or issues have not been properly addressed because this central organization of trade union has been always allied, or at least the Secretary General has consistently been allied with the government of the day. Do you agree that those are legitimate concerns, Bwana Sossion?
They are not legitimate, and I beg to strongly differ. There would be nothing wrong for trade unions by principle and by philosophy working with the government of the day. That's an
including politically supporting the government. There's working professionally, but there's political support.
Now you are coming to the point. Mm-hmm. The political argument with the Standard is on politics. That's a different thing. Mm-hmm. But I think
that is a concern.
That's a different thing. Mm-hmm. That's a different issue.
Because the headline here reads, a political wheeler dealer.
That then
on page 8 of the Standard, Atwoli, a political wheeler dealer disguised as a workers' defender.
The principle of labor relations is that unions work with the government of the day. That's the general principle. Mm-hmm. Government of the day.
As the main employer.
Yes. Yeah, because if you don't work with the government of the day, how then, where are you going to get a proper forum and the right ecosystem, political ecosystem that will enable you to engage meaningfully on workers' rights? I've particularly been in that space, and you deal with government and you work with government, not unless government perceives you to be a threat, and then you engage in unhealthy confrontation. Because what we are talking about is building acceptable, healthy labor relations that you can engage with government. So I think what Atwoli has been doing over the years is making sure that KOTU is in good books with the government of the day and can engage the government of the day meaningfully. And I think I was keen to see how Atwoli was going to engage Kenya Kwanza administration, having taken an extremely adversarial position during the general
But the feeling is that now that he's in this working relationship, a political working relationship with this administration, that some questions that have been raised by workers, generally including taxation, have not been properly addressed, and the voice of KOTU has not been heard speaking from the side of the workers. It's always from the other side of government.
It is not from the side of government. I can tell you, even on the key flagship projects of Kenya Kwanza administration, the president himself was accorded forum by KOTU leadership, and they engaged in extensive discussions, and I am sure KOTU leadership is present in key organizations that deal with the delivery of these projects, whether it's housing, the representation of KOTU is there, is critical. Whether it is SHA, the representation of KOTU is there, it is critical. You know, when we isolate statutory deductions as a loss by workers, I think that is serious misrepresentation. Enhanced deductions for NSSF will enhance.
Yet there are serious concerns, like the one raised on the front page of the Daily Nation by Sossion about the fact that 100,000 employees in Kenya right now have breached the one-third rule. And this is a total violation of the labor law.
Yes, I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that. Of course, the deduction would affect generally the one-third rule. But then how do you remedy? By reviewing the CBS. Remember, through this type of engagements, the president was able to award even workers in the public service 10% salary rise. That actually covered for the deductions and remedied some of the one-third rule general issues, general challenges arising from this enhanced deduction. And that is why I'm talking about frontier of engagement. There is a frontier of engagement. There is a table between the workers and government. And the president is very keen in engaging workers. Even right from when we were developing charters, we were keen that you must listen to workers.
On that issue.
And therefore, KOTU being on board and engaging the government meaningfully is the best thing. I don't think you're going to find a political ecosystem, a regime leadership that is able to sit with the workers on one table, and I'm sure today the president will be.
The feeling is that KOTU has abandoned workers and is now working for the administration of the day. Eric, do you agree with what Sossion is saying?
I agree with what Sossion is saying. Number one, let me just demystify this issue of that some employees, like the figure here. I said that the unions, individual unions, are responsible for salary reviews in that particular sector. Personally, I can say here that last year when we were negotiating a CBA with one of the companies here, which I'll not mention, we had to agree that over and above the percentage that we had agreed, we had to put another 3% in addition to what we had agreed, so that that 3% can take care of these deductions. So what we can say, first of all, let workers at a specific sector engage your union in that sector, so that your union can engage employers in that sector to address.
Yes, yet this is a problem that emanates from government itself,
exactly.
The pieces of legislation making statutory deductions